Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you. You know our judges, Jeff Hamilton, you've heard us announce many times, Erika von Kleist, Bill Charlap, Todd Williams. I just want to say that this was the most collegial time we've ever had as a panel. We all have our fields of expertise that we focused and concentrated on. Todd and Erika were concentrating on reeds, and Bill was focusing on the piano and the rhythm section, and the hammer was focusing on all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna say one thing about him. He always teases us because we get a little sentimental as we get older. We had some instances where sometimes we tear up and we get full hearing kids play for many different reasons. We're so much in there with you all, and it's so moving to see you play under this type of pressure and to play as well as you play, that down through the years he's given to teasing those who tear up and cry and wipe a few tears out. This is the first time, I have to say, in this festival that I saw the mighty hammer get full and some pearls drop. So we're going to everybody did such a fantastic job and took everything so seriously. We have very serious discussions. We're going to start with the hammer. We're going to just say a few things to you to help with your band or what we heard in general.
What a great year. I've been here for a few years, and like we all agreed, this was the highest level of bands right across the board with scoring. There were no question marks in the room for any of us. We were very clear on how good all the bands were. The thing that I want to stress to you, and I've said this before, but yes, it's a competition, but it's a competition in that 5 people are giving you their opinions. And if it isn't exactly the result that you were looking for, that doesn't mean that you're not happening. It might mean we're not happening, you know, but I'm not sure you needed to applaud that, however. It's our opinion on any given day that you're offering your talent and your musicianship to us. And we are just giving you feedback on what we hear in that amount of time. We were completely knocked out by the caring, the focus of all of you, the dedication to do what it took to do what you did this weekend. And that's why I keep coming back every year, because I think it probably isn't going to get any better, and it always does, because of you, the directors, the parents, the students who love this music and have a passion for this music like all of us do. And we have to serve the music at any cost. It's not about whether we take home a trophy. We get to play the music. It's not like we have to play the music. We get to play the music. It's a privilege. I got a second award, a second place in my senior year in a snare drum contest by a band director who is a trombone player. And so I decided then that I had to take competitions for what they were, because I knew that the trombone player couldn't play a 5-stroke roll if he had to, and that I did. So keep that in mind through all of the scoring that we've done, and we loved hearing every band this year. There wasn't one band where we were just going, man, how did they really get here? Everybody deserved to be here, and thank you so much for sharing your talent with us, and we're going to carry this with us for the rest of the year and on and after that. Thank you very much.
I had the privilege of being a part of the screening process for the initial applications that came in, and I don't know if I listened to any of you. I was all anonymous, but just knowing the level of submissions that came in at that point of the process, I knew that this was going to be a very difficult competition to judge. So every single year, I've poked my head in as an alum of this competition just to see these bands, because I know how much of an impact this festival had on my career as a young musician and as a professional musician that I am now. It's one of my most memorable moments. And in a lot of these adjudication scenarios, I end up talking a lot with students about, okay, you need a harder read, you guys need to talk more about intonation, and a lot of the little details. I didn't write a whole lot about details for these bands because everyone here did such a wonderful job, and I feel like we're breaching the realm of talking about bigger concepts rather than smaller concepts. And one of the things I wanted to mention is in your soloing, it's not necessarily about what you want to play in that moment, it's about what the music needs in that moment. And some of the most profound moments in your solos happen when you didn't play. And don't take that the wrong way. It means that take your time and listen more to each other. I know you're all excited, you're up here playing for all of us judges and your colleagues here in the audience, but when you're performing, just remember to take your time and listen and communicate when you're soloing. And this is a big concept. This is something you're going to learn as you get older. Your layers of life are going to help you develop this as you grow. But just remember, take a breath and let the music tell you what it needs. Congratulations.
I know I speak for everybody when I tell you that it's really an honor to listen to you. It's very moving. You represent the best of what humanity is. And yeah, that's it. You know, playing this music, the spirituality, the sensuality, the humanness of it, the courage that it takes to get to this, and the sound of American music, the prayer that's in it, and the joy that's in it, the dance that's in it. You all had that. So beautiful to listen to. You can stick your chests out and hold your heads up high because you are about the best that there is. So, congratulations. Great Phil Wood said, you know, the great alto saxophone player. And Phil had a way of getting to the point very quickly. And I remember I was playing with a big band, Phil was leading, and all the sections weren't always lining up. Maybe somebody was overblowing here. Whatever it was, the time wasn't exactly where it needed to be in the pocket. And he stopped the band, he said, oh. Everybody's got to be a drummer. And I thought that that was really important. What I mean is that as you get deeper and deeper into this thing, which we do for the rest of our lives, you know, you never graduate. But it's something that Stephen Sondheim said. God is in the nuances. And it's in the nuances of how you play the time, of how the music dances, of how profoundly you're into the rhythm, into the history of it, finding your own way around it, and also dealing with all of the building blocks of music, harmony, rhythm, melody, the arrangement. But more than anything, it's in the nuances, and you have to keep looking at it like the most finely tuned and calibrated sports car. You know, if you hit the pedal too hard, it gets away from you. And if you move the steering wheel too fast, it can get away from you. But every little nuance we feel, and you will feel, and that's part of the dance. And if there's anything that I hear pretty much across the board, with all the different things that you do so beautifully, just think about every little nuance that you get into. And Music will be yours, the world will be yours, and ultimately it's all about communicating with each other and expressing that kind of love. And I think you all do that, so thank you. Beautiful.
I'd like to ask you to do something just for a second. If you could just look around the room. Everybody just look around. Just turn around. Look at your neighbor. And those people that you are looking at, for those of you who decide to go into music, not everybody's going to go into music, but among the number who decide to pursue music as their career, you're going to see the same faces for the next 30 years or so. And it's such an amazing thing because I was in your place at one time and there was no jazz at Lincoln Center. There was IAJE at the time. You know, that was the hottest thing running during those days, you know. But those same people who were serious about playing then are serious about playing now. And they're still on the scene. And jazz is not a huge world, but, you know, it's an amazing thing how people come together and they're able to share ideas and create, you know, one of the world's greatest art forms, you know. So this is what's happening right now, you know. And so where you guys are right now is it's a quantum leap above where things used to be. So I'm very optimistic about the future. You guys have done a fantastic job. It's been great. So congratulations to you. And a final word I just want to share to band directors, a little word of encouragement, is that I think one of the biggest lessons I think I ever learned in my teaching, I teach at a university, is to let go. That's the hardest thing to do because you kind of want the best so bad, and you want to be able to kind of coach and to sort of give ideas and suggestions for improvement. But I think one of the best things I ever did when I'm teaching jazz combo or working with the big band, is to just let the students play. I just let them play. And if they mess it up, they'll know that they messed up. And that's a very tough thing to do, you know, because it's kind of like being a parent. You know, I have 5 kids, and I want to do everything. You know, after a while, you just get exhausted. You just got to let them grow up, you know. But as much as you can, band directors, I want to encourage you to just start releasing the reins. You know, put the students in charge. Hey, you count the tune off. You know, what is the tempo? You know, ask the students. You know, see what they say, and I think the results will be remarkable. So I just want to mention that. And once again, congratulations. I'm very impressed with you all. Thank you very much.
Second, what everyone was saying about just how much we enjoyed hearing y'all play. It's very emotional. I see Erika. I can remember I was telling her how when she played in 1997, we were in Avery Fisher Hall, and all the band members used to be in the towers. And when she started playing, everybody was like, and it's like a moment that I reflect on every time we have this. This festival was her playing in that moment, even though it's only years ago. So I think that I must just say a couple of things. That one thing is the things that we were talking about in the deliberation are all things about how can we get deeper into the actual meaning of our music? How can we get deeper into the reality of the music? Now the level of playing is so high amongst the bands. What I look forward to in the next 20 years, and I won't be here, but I'm looking forward to it, is for us to get deeper into the reality and the integrity of the music and the actual meaning of it. This is a thing that Bill was talking about, but it never stops. Music is so deep and profound, and it's so great. And you all gave us such joy because of your effort, because of your nervousness. Some of y'all, we just want to hug when we see you up there. We know, we understand. It's hard to do things in front of people. You don't want to let your band down. You don't want to let yourself down. You don't want people to think you don't have the heart or the nerves, or whatever it is. Music is not about any of that. Music is a communication. And you all were playing with a tremendous amount of heart. As always, we want more. One comment I'm going to have before I announce the winning bands. It's very interesting sitting, listening to different bands. Now, we're not touching the microphones. We're arguing about the bass and whether you can hear it. It's a big problem hearing basses a lot of times. One or two bands come up, wow, the bass is extremely clear. Most of the other times, we can't hear the bass. So it's for the couple that is central to our music. It's always interesting that that's the couple that's in the back, the bass and the drums. I'm going to talk about the law of opposites. You got the softest instrument playing with the loudest instrument. The instrument that's in 6, the cymbal, playing with the instrument that's in 4. The highest pitch, which is the cymbal, with the lowest pitch, which is the bass. If you turn that bass up, boom, 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 it sounds terrible. You can hear it, but everything is out of balance. So it's one thing that was instructional in this year was the importance of drummers and of their power being constrained. And when they cut loose, then they cut loose and they kick the band. Jeff and I were talking about it. When we don't get that balance together, it's like mama and daddy don't get along in the family. We all have a bad time. Many times that's life. But in our music, we try to give people a sense of what could happen. This is what we could do. The music is aspirational. So I think I would like for all of us to begin to concentrate, because there were many good performances, but when we can't hear the rhythm section or we can't hear the bottom of the band, first we're talking about, is it the sound? And I want to commend our sound men. I want you to know that David Gibson and he called me last night and said, what can we do? Is there something we need to do about the sound? How serious they are about this. And at the end, we ended up saying, well, one band comes out and they play in balance. Another band comes out, plays well, but it's not in balance. We have to concentrate on how we get the bottom of our bands feeling right. That bottom area is very difficult to clarify. Okay. Now, I'm gonna just say that so many kids could play. In the early years, there's always a challenge of, can you play on chord changes? We might hear 1 or 2 people who could play on chord changes in 8 years. Man, everybody was playing on chords. Then it was, could they play blues? We had people swooping and playing in the real. Then could people play with plungers? Could they play clarinets? The level of playing is astounding. Now the next challenge for us is we want to do the opposite of what our country is doing right now. We want to be in balance. We need our young leadership. Understand that to be a rebel does not mean you have to show up with orange hair trying to use somebody else's money to do what you want to do. You know, sometimes it means you have to come out and you have to be the mature one. You have to be the one that sets another tone for the nation in terms of the intensity with which you embrace each other and that you try to fulfill the principles that we are supposed to be about. Sometimes you violate your own principles. It's no crime, that's life. But you want to always aspire to your highest principles. We saw a lot of it in here. Not just with great kids, but with band directors, with parents. And instead of this being the thing that you have to figure out, is it relevant, make it be relevant. Because when things get upside down, the most irrelevant things in the world become relevant. It's up to you to make those things which are most sacred to us and those things that are actually relevant be relevant. So I ask you to have a certain type of aggressive arrogance about pursuing equality with one another, freedom, space, listening, meeting people that are not like you, trying to be a part of making our entire way of life better, because that was the vision Duke Ellington had. And that is the vision we all have as musicians. And that's the banner under which we fight. And it's a very serious banner, and it's only going to get worse and harder as you get older. It does not get easier. You have a great head start with the belief in excellence and the clarity that you play with. It's very difficult for us to determine, and we want you to understand that somebody has to be chosen as winners. In a music competition, there's no shame in not being a winner. And we have to understand also about the world, because so many of our movies and things teach us that a competitor is an enemy. A competitor is not an enemy. The world is based on collaboration. People play a certain thing better than you. You're going to learn as much from students who are like you than you will learn from teachers. Don't hate, congratulate. So as I do every year, I absolve myself from responsibility for these choices that the judges made. Here are the bands in no particular order: Newark Academy, Tucson Jazz Institute, Dillard Center for the Arts. I'll see y'all tonight. Thank you so much. Antoinette is going to come out here. Antoinette is going to come out here and talk to y'all. Thank you so much. Todd Williams, Bill Charlap, Erika von Kleist, Jeff Hamilton.
Congratulations to our top 3 placing bands. The top 3 placing bands should get their instruments and head to the Varus Leichman Recording Studio for dinner by 5 p.m. There, you'll receive further instruction on your sound check before the concert. All other bands, please clear instrument storage immediately. Nothing can be left here at Frederick P. Rose Hall. Also, tonight's concert is sold out. Please note that we still have parents and families interested in attending the concert. If you have a ticket for tonight's concert and you do not plan on attending, we invite you to donate your ticket at our information table located across from the 5th floor elevators. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and we will see you tonight at 7:30.